something that everybody was looking forward to in this series was a potential Ben Simmons return. We know he didn't return. He got a lot of backlash for not returning. Reggie Miller called him out. People were calling him weak for not returning. Now, the Nets and Sixers made the trade. Ben Simmons for James Harden, essentially. The Nets did get Seth Curry, Drummond, and 2 first-round picks along with Ben Simmons, and the Sixers got Harden and Millsap. Looking at this trade, did both of these teams lose it?
I'm going to be honest. The answer is I'm going to say that the Sixers lost it right now, but the Nets is a still wait and see because we haven't seen Ben. The only reason why it hurts is because you haven't seen Ben play at all, and you're going to give him $35 million. What hurts with James Harden is you're clearly not getting the player that you thought you were getting, and you have to pay him $45 million over however many years you decide to have him on your team. That's the reason why I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, yes, I think Philadelphia lost this trade, but I still think that the Nets have yet to really fully lose it until we see Ben Simmons play. I'm looking at it from this lens. The Sixers traded away Seth, Ben, for James Harden because James Harden is an amazing playmaker who was supposed to be a great shot creator, a consistent scorer for them, and was going to be able to benefit Embiid's game tremendously. Now, Embiid has continued to be a dog this season, MVP candidate, top 3 at the minimum, but James Harden has been the one that has been lacking because of his inconsistent aggression. He has not been aggressive completely since coming to Philadelphia. He came in the first 2 games, he was emphatic, he was unbelievable, and then we started to see him go back into his inconsistent ways, and we're seeing it here in this Toronto series. Now, for the Nets side, Ben Simmons still has a chance to right his wrongs so long as next season he come back, he plays, and is at least focused on basketball. Until he plays, you can't fully say that he lost it, but right now, as we stand, these 2 teams made this trade because they wanted to win a championship. Right now, the Nets just got swept, and the 76ers are struggling right now. When they were up 3-0, now it's a 3-2 series, going to Toronto for Game 6, as we stand right now. I'm not looking at it as anywhere near to a success unless you win this championship, because this move was made to win a championship, and if you do not win one, it was a failure.
I think they both lost. But like you said, I do think Brooklyn has a chance to fix that loss. Well, Ben Simmons specifically
For sure.
has a chance to fix that loss because he watched his team get swept. He watched his team desperately get cooked on defense. And I understand, mentally he might not be right. He might really have a back injury. But it's like it's starting to become annoying. This whole situation is just like, all right, whatever. I understand why he didn't play Game 4. It wouldn't make sense. He has to play ball in the year. Cool. That's cool. So Ben Simmons has a chance to rewrite that. With Philly, though, I agree. I think – and I picked Philly to win the series. I didn't think Miami would be a cakewalk. I think Miami and Philly would be a very tough series. But James Harden looks cooked, man. But I was reading a report earlier today about – one of his trainers were talking – and he was like, James Harden he's still like injured. James Harden the hamstring is still bothering him. So they say this offseason he'll have a full offseason of fully recovering from the injury. But, as great as a playmaker he is, he's not living up to that number 2 guy. They're not even asking him to be a number 1 guy. Joel Embiid is that.
Easily.
They're asking him to just be an effective scorer. And his scoring just has taken a big dip, and it really sucks because, Harden was one of the best players in the league, and this could have really turned Philly into a championship contender, but nobody's taking Philly serious because, well, 1, nobody takes Doc Rivers serious, and 2, nobody's taking Harden's, scoring ability serious. And although Maxey has looked great, Tobias.
He started great.
We're
going to get into it, so let's not.
Yeah, he looked great. Tobias has been okay. You need Harden to be that 100% guy.
Agree.
Those 2, Maxey's still young. Harris, we know what he is, but you need Harden to be that guy. So I think at the moment, like you said, this was a championship. This was a move to win the championship. So Philly, for me, I ain't gonna go all the way and say they don't win the championship. They don't make it at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is definitely a failure for me, and I think he'll be back next year because it just doesn't make sense to go anywhere else.
Am I wrong by saying this move was made to win a championship?
No, you're not wrong, but I wouldn't say it's a complete failure if they don't win the championship.
At this point in time, with the way that Embiid has been playing, at the level that he's at right now, you're telling me that they don't want to maximize that, and that wasn't solidified by trading for James Harden?
No, I agree. I think, getting there, getting to the Eastern Conference Final, but I think just like a championship, we love to give teams championship contender titles, and we love to say it's championship or bust, but in reality, championship is hard to come by.
Agreed.
And in the East, there's 4 teams right now
Definitely.
that are in the East can go to the championship. So it's like it's tough for me to say, oh, it's just a fail because Miami can beat them, Boston can beat them, Milwaukee can beat them. So I can't like say fully it'd be a failure. But getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's something I expect at minimum for them.
But then again, if Harden was Harden,
this wouldn't be a discussion.
Exactly.
But he isn't.
Correct. No doubt.
He's still an elite playmaker, though.
That's the only thing you could say is elite right now of his game.
Yeah. Hey, Harden.
And I've been telling you guys all year long that he's not the same.
All year long?
Yes.
Yes.
All year long, he's been so like,
Nah, he's
he's
been
good, he's back. I hate him. He's let me down.
He's been
James Harden never doubted him. I jinxed him. No, he's a bum again.
No, all year long I've said Harden is not the same. And when you watch him, you can tell he's not the same. You know, we even had the argument of if he's an elite shooter or not. And now you look at his only job is to facilitate sometimes and spot up, and he's shooting 32% from 3. Because James Harden was never an elite shooter. That's a 3-point shooter. He never was.
Never strong, but
he was a
that.
good one that took a lot of threes on high volume, and that's why he got those.
He was never an elite spot up.
He was a more create off the dribble.
To talk about who won between these two, it really depends on the version of Harden the Sixers are getting moving forward. But even with that, like I pose a question to you guys, the Sixers probably are better without Seth than Harden. Like this current version of Harden, if these playoffs, Seth would be more valuable to that team than what Harden is offered.
I mean, are we getting the Seth that we just seen?
Correct.
We're getting the set that we've seen
from Philly, though.
From Philly, who's been consistent. James Harden has fallen off so much that, I mean, before the season started, consensus top 10 player. Now he's 20 to 30.
Damn.
You can go from maybe 25 to 30.
That's a crazy drop off.
Like James Harden, you can name 25 players that you probably take over James Harden right now.
I want to do that really badly right now.
Nah.
Like, for example, a player that ranks amongst the 20 to 30 spot is Brandon Ingram. Would you take Ingram right now or James Harden? You're taking Brandon Ingram.
That's fair. He's not lying.
That's so crazy to say out loud, but it's facts.
Even a guy like Pascal Siakam, you're taking Pascal Siakam over James Harden.
What's your opinion on that?
I hate Mr. Spinneroni, but yeah, you're right.
Yo, take it easy on him, all right?
I take Spin Cycle.
Thank you. He's been balling.
Yeah, I take Spin Cycle.
The only reason why the Nets may not lose this trade is because, one, I mean, Ben Simmons is 25 years old. I mean, regardless of what you want to say about him, I feel like, I don't know where the report came from that he was going to play in Game 4, but I thought it was irresponsible because clearly a player who has been hurt all year long and who was dealing with mental health issues to now for somebody to report he's going to play for Game 4, playoff intensity basketball.
Crazy.
It doesn't make sense. And for those people saying, man, you just got to give your team a chance out there. I mean, we know what a 3-0 lead is in the NBA. Like it is. We? Yes, we do.
Do we?
We know what it is.
I don't know. We might have that definition changed for us.
Okay, but historically, we know what it is. It's basically
over.
If this was jail, it's a life sentence.
Unless you're playing Doc Rivers, right?
That's what it is. That's what a 3-0 lead is. So for Ben Simmons to come back when, one, he probably doesn't even help you in terms of offense because of the spacing KD needs.
For sure.
Defensively, his injury, we don't know how he's going to look. I think it was irresponsible for them to put that report out there. And I don't think the back pain thing is a lie. You know, there's scientific studies that show that psychological distress causes chronic back pain. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah, like it's
come on, man. Let's just not dig too deep into that.
Look, it's just a fact. And I don't know how Ben Simmons is feeling.
That's crazy.
Feeling maybe this is all a facade, maybe it's not, but I feel like you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, I think a lot of people now, they feel like just because these athletes make a lot of money, they are immune to emotion. Paul George spoke about it in the bubble when he, didn't play to his level. And Ben Simmons has experienced that he's experienced that at a grander level.
But you know what's great about Paul George and why he has my ultimate respect is because he spoke out and then he balled. Now, Ben Simmons can have what has transpired be okay so long as he comes back and he balls. That's the difference right now.
I just feel like it went from I don't want to play here no more to now I have like stress when you finally get out of there.
No, I have back pain now.
Well, because of the stress.
Yeah, correct.
I think it's just like the timing of all of it is still a little weird. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's foggy. It's foggy,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't want to speculate too much on it. But we also have to understand when talking about when answering the question, winning and losing.
Yep.
We have to understand why these teams made the trade. The Sixers made the trade to win a championship.
Definitely.
They traded Ben Simmons. They waited to trade Ben Simmons until a player like Harden or Dame became available because they didn't want a Malcolm Brogdon
De'Aaron Fox.
or they didn't want I would even say, Fox. They didn't want a Harrison Barnes. They didn't want these guys. They wanted Harden. So they made this move to get that guy
Correct.
to get over the hump. The Nets traded Harden because he was disgruntled, because he had, without literally doing it, he had quit on the team. That's why they traded him. The Nets knew, like, man, Harden at his best versus Simmons and whatever we're getting, the ceiling for our team isn't going to be as high, but we have no choice but to trade him.
The ceiling,
Same thing for the Sixers,
ceiling
but
should be just as high when you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie.
with Harden, the ceiling is higher.
I mean,
The
you have
ceiling's
arguably
crazy.
you have arguably the greatest three put together that only played 16 games. My point being is you still have KD, you still have Kyrie. That should have been more than enough.
And Daryl Morey went on a bunch of interview sprees and talked about how he has to maximize Embiid now.
For sure.
So he has to get
That's a good move.
he has to make the perfect trade when trading Ben Simmons, and he thought it was Harden, and he has not been the player.
Maury did his job. I think Maury, for sure, he has to maximize Embiid, and I think he did the best move at the moment that he could have done. So.
Yeah. But then again, I understand the criticism for Ben Simmons. You know, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit, but also you have to understand that, you know, all of these players played injured in the playoffs. You look at Rob Will, he played injured. John Collins came back injured. Anthony Edwards tweaked his knee and then came back the same game. Steph Curry also coming off the bench while still dealing with his injury. So
he
players.
just wasn't going to say Zach LaVine's name, huh?
Oh, Zach LaVine. Yeah, I guess I'll say his
Luka?
name too. Luka too, coming back from his hamstring.
Devin Booker's coming back tonight, or excuse me, the next game that they play.
So we are seeing players coming back from injuries, and the fact that Ben Simmons didn't give it a shot, I understand that perspective where you at least wanted Ben Simmons to do something similar to what Anthony Davis did last year in the Suns series, where he came back, it was clear he was hurt. He ran up and down the court a couple times, and then he re-injured himself.
Pulled himself out of the
And
game.
then it was like, we knew, okay, like he gave it a shot at least. So I can understand that perspective, that people at least wanted to see Ben Simmons give it a shot. Like, at least try. If it's visible that, like, okay, like, you cannot play, you know, they'll applaud you. You go back to the bench, you know, you did what you can. But I think the frustration stems from he didn't try. And that's what I think, you know, most of it stems from. And this is a big-time offseason for the Nets because now they have to deal with Ben Simmons and try to get him right mentally. And who knows what's going to happen, you know, because there's a possibility that we go through this entire offseason and Ben Simmons doesn't suit up for game one. So,
Which would be crazy.
yeah.
I don't see that happening. He needs to play opening day.
Yeah.
needs
And
to play
he's
opening day.
owed $117 million.
Yep.
Yeah. But James Harden. So let's get back to this because I'm actually curious and we can just name players that
Do
The
it.
top 20 or 25 better than
Yeah,
Harden.
So you're just
Yeah,
going to name
okay.
it, we're going to go him or Harden?
So okay.
Here we go.
Love it, man.
Is James Harden a top 25, 30 player still? That sounds like a crazy question, but let's go over some names. Nikola Jokic,
Jokic.
Giannis,
Giannis.
Embiid,
Embiid.
LeBron,
LeBron.
KD,
KD.
Trae Young,
Trae Young.
Luka,
Luka.
John Morant,
Ja.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Cat. He's been balling these last couple games. I don't want to disrespect Cat.
I just had to think about it for a little bit.
Mhm.
That's 9. Jimmy Butler,
Jimmy.
that's 10. DeMar DeRozan,
DeMar.
that's 11. Let me go
Paul
through.
George, Kawhi.
Yeah, let me go through because a lot of these players' PERs are kind of because they're
Roll with
centers.
the PER.
Yeah. Okay, so Jason Tatum,
Tatum.
that's 12. Brandon Ingram.
Ingram. But it's a conversation. But I take Ingram.
Okay. What number am I on if you guys?
14.
14. Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan.
Donovan.
Devin Booker.
D-Book.
Zach LaVine,
Conversation, but Zach.
I'm going Levine.
Jaylen Brown,
JB.
Conversation, but JB.
Paul George,
Paul
PG.
George.
CJ McCollum,
That's the one.
CJ has come to the Pelicans, and he really has changed them.
That's the one. I got to think about that one.
I just asked you this: if CJ swap him and Harden on the Sixers
CJ
right now,
McCollum.
I'm
CJ
going
McCollum.
CJ.
CJ McCollum.
okay, Bradley Beal,
Bradley fucking Beal. Bradley Beal, man. God damn it, Harden.
what number am I
so
on?
inconsistent.
17.
This is supposed to be your job,
Yeah,
man.
he's on 17.
Is it 17? Oh, man. I'll tell you what. Oh,
You're
man.
missing a lot of names, too. This,
I know. I'm gonna keep going.
I'll tell
did
you
you say
what.
Curry?
No.
Well, that's obvious. 18. God damn it.
I would probably go.
I think you got to go Beal.
You low-key have to. Because Beal's fake a good playmaker, too. He's not James Harden, but he's a decent passer
He's a
also.
bucket, too.
I'm going Beal.
Okay, so just for reference, I actually just pulled up my NBA ranking quiz. I had Harden 23 on here. So this is going to be much easier for me, at least, to keep up with these names.
Let's do it
So
again.
I'll just do it through whatever I have here.
Do it.
So Giannis,
Yes.
Giannis.
Jokic,
Yep.
Jokic.
Steph,
Steph.
Embiid,
Yep.
Embiid.
LeBron,
Yep.
LeBron.
Luka,
Yeah.
Luka.
Tatum,
Yep.
Tatum.
KD,
KD.
Kawhi,
Yeah.
Kawhi.
PG,
Yep.
PG.
Dame,
Yep.
Dame.
John Morant,
Yes.
Ja.
Cat,
Yeah.
Cat.
AD,
Yep.
AD.
Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Trey Young,
Yep.
Trey.
Devin Booker,
Mm-hmm.
D-Book.
DeMar DeRozan,
Mm-hmm.
Lamar.
Zion Williamson,
Mm-hmm.
Zion.
Jaylen Brown,
JB.
Darius Garland, or
No.
Harden right now?
Harden.
I'm going Garland.
Wow.
Brandon Ingram,
Ingram.
BI. So you would take BI over Garland?
Yes.
Easy?
Yes.
I don't like that, but
Kyrie,
I'm going Kai.
Kai.
Chris Paul,
CP.
CP.
Donovan Mitchell,
Don.
Zach LaVine,
Zach.
Levine.
SGA.
I can't answer that. I'll be too biased. I'm gonna go SGA though.
I'm going to see. This is the tricky part because we say,
Nah, you know
We
what?
say
I'm
SGA.
gonna pay homage. Harden.
yeah, I was
Harden.
going to say because we say SGA because we're
But then you can't say
projecting. We're
Garland.
projecting. But you're saying that's easy SGA over Garland?
I think SGA is better than Garland.
That's a conversation we can have.
And players not on here on this list.
And with
is
that
CJ
being said,
McCollum
I'm
either.
taking SGA.
All right, yeah, you got to. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He didn't even name. There's a lot of players missing.
For sure.
We're not even.
Yeah.
He might not be top 30 the way the list just went. Nah, no way. Harden can't go out like that.
I mean, this is the
Listen,
reality.
he blows
though.
his 3-0 lead. You're toast. You're toast.
Yeah,
Why is he toast?
I
He
picked
knows
Philly.
why.
Oh, you picked Philly. That's why you're toast.
Picked Philly in 6
Because I've been getting clowned, right? You've been clowning me all season when it matters most. Who's stepping up to the plate? Don't blow this 3-0 lead.
This is game.
This
6
is like
right
you
here.
have
I
the
said
3-0
Philly-
lead.
I said Philly in 6. It's right here.
Okay.
Been
all
waiting
right.
for this.
Okay.